Alright, welcome back. It's time to talk about Project Crossover's presentation. Now this will be interesting, especially regarding the art style. We have characters who represent animation, stop motion, live action, anime, CGI, and many other styles. How are we going to blend them into Project Crossover? Well, I see two options, one of which has been done in other crossover games, namely creating a unified art style similar to Smash Ultimate and Multiverses. In Smash Bros., you have characters who come from different games with unique art styles. Mario's games are bright and colorful, while Snake's games are more realistic. Persona has stylish visuals, while Minecraft has simpler ones. Banjo and Kazooie look like Disney characters, while Hero is designed by Akira Toriyama, the same guy who made Dragon Ball. The point is that all of these characters come from different looking games, but in Smash, they fit in with each other. The cartoon characters are given more realistic textures, while the realistic characters are given simpler designs. Steve is the exception here, but that was done on purpose. The same thing applies to Multiverses, where you can have cartoon characters like Bugs and Shaggy stand next to live action characters like Arya. Honestly, I think this is the safest direction to take the art style. Some sacrifices will need to be made, like giving Mario realistic overalls or giving Caesar a more animated design, but I think it would give the game a nice and unified look. That being said, the other idea I have for the game's art style is to make it a mashup of different styles. Similar to the Spider-Verse movies, each character would retain their respective art style and designs, and so would the world around them. I plan to discuss this later, but part of the narrative in Project Crossover is that the characters' various worlds have been combined into one, creating a massive continent comprised of random landmarks. So, pretty much like Ionios from Xenoblade 3. That could apply to the art style as well, and allow the characters to keep their established looks without having to compromise them for consistency. However, if not handled correctly, the mashup could be seen as inconsistent and hard to look at. So it would be more of a gamble than the Smash Bros. Approach. Still, I think it could be a fun idea if handled correctly, and it would help sell the concept of worlds clashing with each other. So there we have it. Two possible directions for the art style, one that plays it safe, and the other that's more experimental. I'd be good with either one, especially if the mashup works, as long as the style can give each character a faithful depiction. Now let's move on to the audio. This applies to the voice acting and music, and in the case of the former, it would be an absolute dream to have every character voiced by their original actors. But of course, looking at it realistically, we'd have to get some replacements, particularly for anyone who's too old, too busy, or has passed away. Getting celebrities back like Mike Myers as Shrek or Vin Diesel as the Iron Giant would be great, but it's best to be prepared if they decline. That shouldn't be a problem though, because there are tons of talented voice actors in the industry, so there should be someone who can replicate the voice of these characters. And also, it would be the perfect opportunity to have Kubo be voiced by a kid who's not white. Kubo and the Two Strings is a great movie, but it didn't have the most inclusive casting, so I'd want to fix that in Project Crossover if I could. Also, regardless of their status as a celebrity or as a voice actor, everyone would get paid the same amount. Also, no AI would be used to replicate deceased voices. Seriously, I hate how AI is being used by big corporations, and I'm unimpressed by most of the stuff I've seen with AI, besides how Luke Skywalker was depicted in the Book of Boba Fett, so very little of it would be used in the game. I swear, if I actually got my wish to make Project Crossover into a game, and the executives or whoever said that they're gonna use AI to replicate people's voices, I would cancel the game right there and then. If they're available and willing to come back, this game will use actual human actors only. End of story. Anyway, I do not doubt that the cast of voice actors and celebrities will be able to bring these beloved icons to life in this massive game. Next is the music. The songs would be a mix of original tracks and remixes of pre-existing songs from each franchise. Some of those remixes would apply to the character themes, a couple of which I've already revealed. If you've seen my first character themes video, you should already know the themes of some of the characters on the roster. These themes will play under specific circumstances in the game, and on each character's bio in the extras menu. Generally, I think it would be best for every character to have a remixed theme song, but I'm okay with using the original version of the song too, just in case there's not enough time or money to make a new track. In fact, while I said I wanted Mario to have a medley for his theme, I wouldn't mind Jump Up Superstar being his theme for the game either. On that note, there will be additional character theme videos in the future, so stay tuned. Just know that for certain videos, including character themes and story portions, I may not use a certain song for copyright reasons. I was lucky not to get any strikes against my channel from the first character themes video, but I'm not sure if I can continue to dodge more potential strikes in the future. If I have to, I'll use a song that is close to the scene or character I'm talking about, and disclose which song I would like to hear in the game, if that makes sense. Speaking of copyright, the game would have licensed pop music in it. It would mainly be used during certain story sections and for marketing, but don't expect to hear it in my videos. Again, I don't want to test YouTube copyright laws. Regardless, I plan for the pop songs to be used similarly to films like Shrek and Guardians of the Galaxy, where they help set the tone and story for certain scenes. But of course, the music would not be comprised of only pre-existing music or remixes of them. There would be original songs for cutscenes, combat, menus, and original songs for the game's opening and ending, respectively. I think it would be cool to have a blend of orchestrated and digital music, with a variety of instruments and music styles used. Imagine some nice synth waves for the town or nighttime areas. A grand orchestra for the open world. And some hard rock for the bosses. Of course, to reach that level of ambition, we'd have to copy Smash's footsteps by bringing in several composers and directing them on each arrangement. Another thing I would like to see are tracks that dynamically change depending on the player's location. As mentioned before, the world in Project Crossover is a mashup of various locations. So imagine if you were in an area that was themed around Persona, Harry Potter, and SpongeBob. Depending on where you are in this area, the music may shift from being fantastical to jazz-inspired to underwater theme. Don't tell me that wouldn't be awesome. But that doesn't even cover the game's opening and ending themes, so let's go over those next. In the game's reveal trailer, I used Brave New World from Namco Cross Capcom, and I would like the opening theme to be a combination of that song and All the World stage from Project Cross Zone 2. I would love the game to have an exciting and energetic opening song to hype up the audience and get them ready for the adventure they're about to go on. And it would be accompanied by an anime intro with all of the characters. This would be contrasted with the ending theme, which would have a feel similar to Someday Under the Moon, also from Namco Cross Capcom, and Beyond the Sky from Xenoblade Chronicles. It would symbolize the end of the game and the end of these characters' massive adventures. And during the credits, it would be followed by The Show Must Go On by Queen. That might be too much of a shift in tone, but I think it would still lend itself to the story's overall theme, but that pretty much covers the music. There would be a blend of new and old tracks, including some remixes, licensed songs, and dynamic instrumentation. I think the last thing to go over would be the UI, but honestly, I think it's best if I save that for another time, especially since some of the UI elements involve story spoilers. Besides, this video is getting longer than I wanted it to be. If I think of something else, I'll make an addendum to this video or bring it up in a different one. But for now, we've gone over the art style, the voices, and the music. In the next video, we'll go over the gameplay. However, that video may have to be split up into 2 parts with how much there is to go over. We'll see when we get there, but for now, this is all from me today. Have a good one, everybody!